Welcome back, design students. In this video I'm going to show you how to texture the chimney. The chimney is actually very easy. It's kind of like doing the house. So select the chimney and hide everything else. And then we're going to open the material editor and create a material. Knock down the reflections and make the roughness 1. And then drag off of the base color node. General bitmap, and I have this sort of stone texture here that I'm going to use, and rename the material. Incidentally, since this is sort of a grayscale texture here itself, you could just go ahead and connect it to the bump node. That might give it a little bit of depth. But bump maps are different than normal maps in the sense that they're black and white, and they generate lighting, height lighting based on shades of gray. So if we really wanted this to work as a bump map, what we could do is run it through a color correction map. And then into the bump node. And then under the color correction maps settings, we can bring the saturation down all the way to 0. And that'll make it black and white. And we can close this, go ahead and apply it to the chimney. And it's going to be really messed up because it's got no mapping data. And this is just simply a box map like we've done before. So I'm just going to grab UVW map and make it a box map. Make the box square. And adjust it from this angle. And that's pretty much all we need to do there. Should look decent on the top. Looks just fine. Then we're going to finish with an edit poly at the top of the stack. And unhide everything. Starting to look pretty good. Now to do these boards here, I'm going to grab one of these and this one. I'm going to hide everything else, and the process is the same for all of them. Now the first thing I want to do is select them and delete any polygons that will not be seen. And remember, I have my polygon shading turned off. You can turn it on and off by pushing F2 on your keyboard. Now to do these boards, what you do, of course, is you create a material for them. Knock down the reflections, bring up the roughness, find your material, your texture I mean. And I'm going to use this old wood texture that I have 2 of them here. Actually, I think I'll use this one. And for the ends, I'm going to use this sort of log texture here. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a minute. Then I'm going to apply this to both of them. And while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and create the board ends material. Okay, so with this one, I want to show you how we can make these 2 look different even though they have the same material on them. Actually, I think they don't have the same material on them. There we go. So these should be very easy. Let's just go ahead and add a UVW map, and it should just be a box map. Do the same to this one. Actually, I'm just going to paste it, but let me finish. Okay, so here we have the UVW map on it, and it is a box, and remember it needs to be roughly a square. And you can see that the texture is not oriented correctly. So let's go ahead and get the gizmo and rotate it. And stretching it out this way is the way to go, because that's actually the way the texture is. It is a rectangle, if I recall. There we go. And you can see very clearly that it looks like sawed wood now. So then I'm going to take this map, copy it, paste it on this one. And I don't want these two to look exactly the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this gizmo here, and I'm going to move this over this way a little bit, and move this one over this way a little bit. And you can see what I've done here is I've just exposed a different part of the map by doing that, and I've made them look different. And then finish with an edit poly. Now what I would do for the rest of these timbers, for these two here, is I would copy this one and put it here. So these two are not exactly the same next to each other, and I'd copy this one and put it here. And maybe rotate them so different sides are facing different ways. And that is what I would do. Now let's do this board here. So what we need to do here is we need different materials on the faces of the boards and the ends of the boards. So what we need to do is use a multi-sub-object material, and we've done this previously in other projects. So I went ahead and created one. It's right here. But to create one, what I did was I took these two materials, these two wood materials that I created earlier. I held down Shift and I copied them. And then I dragged multi-sub-object material off of here like so, and I connected them to the first two nodes, and then I deleted all the nodes I wasn't using. And then I applied this new multi-sub-object material to my object. And now, of course, what we need to do is apply mapping to the polygons. So in polygon mode, select the face polygons, not the ends, and go to the modifier list and find UVW Map. And this is going to be a box map, but we need to adjust it. Adjust its length and its width, and you can already see that it's facing in the wrong direction. Same thing here, so let's open up the modifier and grab the gizmo and rotate this 90 degrees, and then adjust it so that it is correct. Okay, we can get out of the gizmo mode there and put an edit poly modifier at the top of the stack. Go to polygon mode, and grab these two end polygons. And put a UVW map on them. And adjust its length and its width. Now we can use the gizmo here to move this around so we can expose different parts of the map so that different boards can look different. And then we finish with an edit poly. Now the process is the same for these boards and these boards. For these, I would probably go ahead and do two of them and then replace them over here like I said I would do with these For these, I would probably do 3 or 4 of them, and you can use the same material on them just like I did with this, and you just move the map gizmo around to expose different parts of it to make them look different. And then I would maybe do 4 and then copy them around so that they look different. As long as the same 2 are not right next to each other, it will look fine. And that's how you texture a house. I hope you enjoyed this video series, and I'll see you in the next project.